What if the man hired to kidnap you became the only person willing to die for you? She was an heiress protected by money, guards, and a last name that controlled half the state. He was a criminal raised in shadows, paid to steal her freedom and deliver her to people who never leave witnesses behind. Their worlds were never meant to touch, but on the night she escaped her mansion to breathe for the first time, she met him, the man sent to take her. He should have dragged her into the dark. He should have finished the job. He should have been her worst nightmare. But when he looked into her eyes, he hesitated. And that hesitation, it changed everything. Because now, the people who hired him want both of them dead. And the only way out is together. Stay with me. This story will break you. Before we begin, if you're new here, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Here you'll find forbidden love stories, dangerous romances, and twists you'll never see coming. And today's story, you won't want to miss a second. Evelyn Hart had lived her entire life inside a cage made of luxury. A mansion with marble floors, ceilings covered in art, and guards posted at every corner. To the world, she was the golden daughter of the Hart Empire, a family with old money, political ties, and secrets wrapped in silk. But inside, Evelyn was suffocating. She couldn't walk down the street alone, couldn't make a friend without a background check, couldn't breathe without someone watching. So on the night everything collapsed, she did the one thing she wasn't supposed to do. She ran. Not far, just to the cliffs behind the estate, where she used to go as a child. The only place she could think without the noise of her last name echoing around her. She sat on the edge, hugging her knees, eyes lost in the darkness below the ocean. That's when she heard footsteps behind her. Slow, measured, not belonging to any guard she knew. She turned, and her world paused. A man stood under the moonlight. Tall, dark jacket. Rain, dripping from his hair, jaw tense like he was holding back a storm. She didn't know his name or the truth waiting in his pocket. All she knew was that he didn't look like anyone who belonged to her world, and he definitely didn't look like someone who should be near her at this hour. Evelyn swallowed. "Who are you?" He hesitated. Just 1 second. Just long enough for something undefinable to pass between them. "My name is Luca," he finally said, voice low and steady. "I work nearby." It was a lie, a soft one, a necessary one, because the truth was far more dangerous. Luca Moretti had been paid a fortune to kidnap her. Tonight, right here. But the moment he saw her, really saw her, something inside him cracked. Evelyn wasn't the spoiled heiress he expected. She wasn't arrogant or brittle or cold. She looked lonely, like a bird raised to fly but never taught how. And Luca, who had lived his entire life in the shadows, felt something he couldn't afford to feel: hesitation. She tilted her head, studying him with those bright, questioning eyes that could ruin a man if he let them. "You're not from here," she said softly. Another stab of truth. "No," he admitted. For a moment, the wind brushed past them. The ocean roared below, and the world felt painfully still. Two strangers, one destined to lose her freedom, one paid to take it, staring at each other with a familiarity that shouldn't exist. Evelyn looked away first. "Do you ever feel like your life belongs to everyone except you?" Her voice cracked just slightly, enough for Luca's chest to tighten. He shouldn't care, he shouldn't speak, but he did. "More than you know." Their eyes met again. And that was it. The shift, the snap, the beginning of the thread that would tie them together, whether they wanted it or not. Neither of them understood yet, but this was the night everything changed. The night the heiress met the man sent to steal her. And the night he realized he might not be able to do it. Luca had planned everything with military precision, where he would grab her, where he would take her, how long he had before the Hart security team noticed she was gone. But nothing in his plan prepared him for the girl sitting beside him on the cliff. Softness in her voice, sadness in her eyes, and absolutely no idea that danger was inches away. He forced himself to look away from her, tightening his jaw. He needed to stay detached, professional, cold. But Evelyn made that almost impossible. "Why are you out here alone?" he asked. She gave a breathy laugh and small, tired reel. "Because it's the only place where no one is telling me who to be." Luca felt that sentence like a punch. He wasn't supposed to relate to her. He wasn't supposed to feel anything, but he understood her too well. "I know the feeling," he said quietly. She glanced at him then, really looked at him, as if searching for the truth beneath his guarded expression. "You don't seem like someone who follows rules," she murmured. He almost smiled, almost if she only knew. "Sometimes we don't get to choose," he replied. Evelyn's lips parted, her expression softening. "No, we don't." Then she did something Luca did not expect, something that rattled him more than a gun pointed at his head. She trusted him, completely, instinctively, with a secret she'd never told anyone. "My father is arranging my engagement," she whispered. "Someone I barely know, someone who wants the Hart name more than he wants me." Luca's breath froze. She wasn't just unhappy, she wasn't just lonely, she was trapped. And suddenly, she wasn't just a target anymore. She was a person he couldn't bring himself to hurt. Evelyn hugged her arms around herself, eyes on the dark horizon. "I just wanted one night where I wasn't someone's asset." Luca should have stood then, should have grabbed her, should have done the job. Instead, he heard himself say, "You deserve more than that." Evelyn looked at him with quiet surprise. And that was the moment Luca realized he had already broken the first rule of a hitman: never care about the target. Luca waited until Evelyn looked away, until her gaze drifted to the city lights far below the cliff. His hand slipped into his jacket, fingers brushing the syringe. A single dose meant to render her unconscious long enough to disappear without resistance. This was the moment. The perfect angle, the perfect silence. No witnesses, no chance of failure. He inhaled slowly. Just do it. Get it. Over with. Don't think, don't feel. But then Evelyn turned back to him and smiled. Not a happy smile, not a polite one. A small, aching smile that looked like someone who had been lonely for far too long and finally found a moment of peace. "Thank you," she said softly. Luca froze. "For what?" he asked, voice lower than intended. "For sitting with me. For not treating me like I'm a business deal waiting to happen." The syringe suddenly felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds in his hand. She wasn't supposed to talk like that. She wasn't supposed to be gentle, vulnerable, human. She wasn't supposed to make him feel anything. "Evelyn," he began, but his throat tightened around her name. She stepped closer without realizing it, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. The wind caught the hem of her dress, brushing her against him accidentally, enough to send a jolt through his chest. "I don't know why," she murmured, "but I feel safe with you." Safe. The word nearly destroyed him. His hand clenched around the syringe. This was his last chance. If he didn't take her now, everything would spiral. But Evelyn looked up at him with those wide, trusting eyes, eyes that had never been trusted back, and whispered, "Do you ever wish your life belonged to you and not to everyone else?" And in that moment, something inside him cracked. The syringe slipped back into his pocket. He took a step away, breathing hard, heart pounding against his ribs like it wanted out. "I should go," he managed to say, voice barely steady. Evelyn's face fell just enough for him to notice, but he had no choice. If he stayed 1 second longer, he'd ruin the mission completely. Or worse, he'd kiss her. So Luca walked into the night, leaving Evelyn confused, breathless, and wondering why the first man who ever listened to her looked like he was fighting a war inside his soul. And he was. Because he hadn't failed the mission. He had chosen not to complete it. and that was infinitely more dangerous. Luca didn't sleep that night. He replayed every second on the cliff, her smile, her voice, the softness in her eyes when she said she felt safe with him. Safe with the man hired to steal her freedom. It was a cruel joke life had dropped in his hands. His boss expected confirmation by sunrise, a simple message. It's done. But Luca never sent it. Instead, he walked the empty streets until the sky turned pale, fighting a battle he'd never expected to face, not between loyalty and betrayal, but between duty and the one thing he had never allowed himself to want. Someone who saw him, someone who didn't fear him, someone who trusted him without knowing she shouldn't. By morning, he convinced himself it had been a moment of weakness. He would regroup, refocus, finish the job. That illusion lasted exactly 7 seconds, because when he stepped into the coffee shop across from Evelyn's family estate, he saw her sitting alone by the window, hair falling gently over her shoulders, fingertips wrapped around a cup of tea, staring out like she was waiting for something she couldn't name, or someone. And when she looked up and met his eyes, her whole face lit up, like she had been hoping he would return. "Luca," she whispered when he approached, "I thought maybe last night scared you away." It should have, but he sat down anyway. Evelyn laughed softly. "You're kind of a mystery, you know." If only she knew. She spoke about her dreams, her studies, the pressure of being an heiress everyone wanted a piece of, and Luca listened, or really listened, forgetting entirely that he shouldn't care. At one point, her hand brushed his on the table, a spark, quick, dangerous. She looked at him like she felt it too, and then something inside him shifted, the final fracture. He couldn't take her, he couldn't touch her, he couldn't destroy her life, but he also couldn't walk away anymore, because Evelyn wasn't just a target. She was becoming the first person he'd ever wanted to protect, even from himself. When they parted, she squeezed his hand gently. "I'm glad you came back," she said. And as Luca watched her disappear into the morning light, he realized this wasn't a mission anymore. It was a collision he couldn't escape. And soon someone was going to get hurt. Maybe her, maybe him, maybe both. But the fall had already begun. The shift happened slowly. Then, all at once. Evelyn wasn't naive. Everyone believed she was, but she wasn't. Growing up in a world of wealth meant she learned early how to read people, how to sense danger unsaid, how to hear the truth buried beneath polite lies. So when Luca disappeared for 2 days, without warning, without a message, she knew something was wrong. She felt it in her chest, a heaviness that didn't make sense for a man she'd met only a handful of times, and yet it did. So she went looking for him. Not because she should, but because she couldn't stop herself. When she finally found him outside the mechanic shop on the edge of town, leaning against a truck as if his body carried more weight than the metal behind him, she exhaled in relief. "Where have you been?" she whispered, softer than she intended. He looked up, startled. Then something like guilt flickered in his eyes. Dangerous, real. "I had things to take care of," he said. Too quick, too practiced. It was a lie. She felt it instantly, but instead of pulling back, Evelyn stepped closer. "Luca, if something's wrong, you can tell me." He opened his mouth, then closed it again, jaw tightening. No one had ever asked him that without wanting something in return. No one had ever cared just to care. He looked away. "You shouldn't be here," he muttered. "Maybe not," she said, refusing to move. "But I am." A long, fragile silence stretched between them. Then a black SUV turned the corner, shiny, tinted, out of place in their small town. Evelyn's father's security vehicle. Panic flashed across Luca's face so fast she almost missed it. "Evelyn, go," he whispered sharply. "Right now." But instead of running, she did something she had never done before. She lied. When the agents approached and asked why she was there, Evelyn spoke with absolute calm. "I'm checking on the truck. My father wants it repaired for charity transport. Not a hint of truth, not a trace of hesitation. And Luca watched her, stunned, shaken, realizing what that meant. She had just protected him. Her, the heiress who lived behind marble gates, the daughter of a man who would destroy Luca with a single command. She had crossed the line first. When the SUV pulled away, leaving them alone again, Luca whispered, "You shouldn't have done that." Evelyn held his gaze. "I know," she breathed, "but I did." And something inside him broke open, painfully, beautifully, because this girl he should never touch, never want, never keep, had become the first person he couldn't lose. Luca thought he still had time to figure out how to warn her, time to break the contract quietly, time to find a way to disappear before the men who hired him realized he wasn't going to deliver the girl they wanted. But time was never on the side of men like him. 3 nights after Evelyn lied for him, Luca walked into the back room of the bar where he met his contacts, a place that smelled like spilled whiskey and secrets no one would dare speak outside those walls. He expected a message, a threat, maybe a bullet. What he didn't expect was the man sitting at the table, a tall figure in a charcoal suit, cold eyes, a calmness so sharp it felt like standing near a cliff. It was the man who put the price on Evelyn's head, and he was smiling. "Luca," he said softly, "you're late." Luca kept his expression neutral. "Didn't know we had a meeting." "We do now." The man gestured to the empty seat. A command, not an invitation. Luca sat. The man laced his fingers together, studying him the way predators study whether their prey is worth the chase. "You've had plenty of time. The girl should be in my hands by now." Luca felt every muscle in his body tighten. "I'm tracking her movements," he lied smoothly. "Her security is tighter than you said." A beat of silence. Then the man leaned forward. "Funny, isn't it? Her security tightened the same week you started going missing." Luca kept his jaw locked. "I go missing all the time." "Yes," the man agreed, "but this time feels different." His voice dropped. "It feels personal." Those words hit, like a blade pressed to Luca's spine. He kept breathing steadily, the only sign he was still in control. "You think I'm compromised?" Luca asked. "I think," the man replied, "you might be forming an attachment." Luca's silence was the answer he never meant to give away. The man smiled slowly. "A girl like her, she'd ruin you. You know that, right?" Luca's chest tightened painfully. He didn't respond, didn't need to. The man stood. "You have 72 hours, he said. "Deliver her, or I'll put someone else on the job." He paused by the door. "And that someone won't be as gentle as you." When the room emptied, Luca finally allowed himself to breathe. A sharp, broken inhale. They were onto him. They suspected. And worst of all, if he didn't take Evelyn soon, someone else would. Someone who wouldn't care about her smile, her kindness, or the way she trusted him without knowing why. For the first time since taking the job, Luca felt real fear. Not for himself, for her. Because the danger wasn't coming anymore. It had arrived. Evelyn wasn't supposed to be at the community center that night. She had planned to stay home, hide under blankets, and pretend her life wasn't starting to feel wrong. Like a shadow had begun following her everywhere she went. But something kept gnawing at her chest, a quiet, cold feeling she couldn't name. So she went out. She needed noise, people, light. Instead, she found Luca. He was standing in the back hallway, half hidden in darkness, speaking to a man she had never seen before, tall, muscular, with a face carved from something dangerous. They weren't arguing, but their body language wasn't friendly either. It was tense, sharp, and Luca looked nothing like the man she knew. His shoulders were rigid, his jaw clenched, his voice low, controlled, deadly. Evelyn froze. Something in her stomach twisted, fear, confusion, betrayal all tangled together. Before she had time to decide whether to slip away, the stranger left through a side door. Luca exhaled slowly, pressing his palms to the wall as if the world was closing in on him. She stepped forward. "Luca!" He turned sharply, too sharply, and for a second, she saw something raw in his eyes. Not the softness she'd grown used to. Not the warm, careful Luca who listened to her stories like they meant something. Fear. Real fear. "Evelyn," he started, but she held up a hand. "No. Don't do that." Her voice trembled. "Don't talk to me like everything is normal." He swallowed. Hard, and that alone confirmed what she already sensed. "You're lying to me," she whispered. Luca looked away, a small, tragic movement. "I wasn't supposed to involve you," he said quietly. "I didn't want this." "But you did," she shot back. "You did involve me, you let me trust you, and now there's a man I've never seen threatening you in the hallway of my community center. So just tell me the truth. Please." Her voice cracked. That shattered him. Luca stepped closer, slowly, like approaching something fragile. "You're in danger," he finally said. "I never meant for you to be. I tried to walk away. I tried to end this before it touched you. But it's too late now." Evelyn felt her heart beat in her throat. Danger from who? His silence was her answer. Her breath hitched, a sudden cold realization forming like frost inside her lungs. "Luca," she whispered. "What are you?" The question hung between them, heavy, final, impossible to escape. Luca closed his eyes, and she knew, without him saying a word, he wasn't who she thought. He wasn't safe, he wasn't ordinary, and whatever he truly was, he had just dragged her into a world she was never meant to see. Evelyn didn't leave immediately. She should have. Every instinct screamed for her to step back, turn around, get as far from Luca as humanly possible, because nothing about what she had just witnessed fit the man she thought she knew. But instead of fleeing, she stood there, frozen by something she couldn't explain. Fear. Yes, shock, absolutely. But beneath all of it, something else, something like connection that scared her more than anything. "Evelyn," Luca began, his voice rough, "you need to trust me right now." She laughed, a trembling, broken sound. "Trust you? You've been lying since the second we met." "I know," he whispered, stepping closer. "And I'm sorry." She shook her head. "No, sorry isn't enough. I need to know what's happening. Who was that man? Why do you look at the shadows like they're following you? Why?" Her voice caught. "Why do I feel like I'm losing you before I ever had the chance to know you?" Those words sliced through him. He had survived beatings, threats, gun barrels, nights with death breathing down his neck. Nothing had ever hurt as much as hearing that tremor in her voice. Luca reached for her hand, slowly, cautiously, giving her every opportunity to pull away. She didn't. "Please, listen," he said. "Just this once. And if after tonight you never want to see me, again I'll disappear." Her breath hitched. Disappear. The word hit her chest in a way she hated. He shouldn't matter. He shouldn't feel irreplaceable. And yet, "What are you mixed up in, Luca?" she whispered. He hesitated, just long enough to confirm her worst fear. "I work for people," he said quietly, "who don't forgive mistakes. And right now, they think you're one." Her blood ran cold. "Me? Why me?" Because the truth was too ugly to say aloud. Because I was hired to take you. He couldn't. Say it. Not yet. So he told her what he could. "You're connected to something they want. Your disappearance is supposed to look accidental, clean, untraceable. And I..." He swallowed hard. "I'm the one they sent to make it happen." Evelyn stumbled back as if he'd hit her. "No," she breathed. "No. You wouldn't..." "I won't," he said instantly. "I can't." His voice cracked in a way that made her chest ache. "But someone else will. They already suspect I'm stalling." Evelyn covered her mouth, tears flooding her eyes. "So what do I do?" she whispered. Luca stepped into her space, gently cupping her cheek. "I get you out. Tonight. Quietly. Before anyone else comes looking." "And after that?" she asked, voice barely audible. He hesitated. "After that, everything changes." Evelyn should have run then, should have screamed, should have pushed him away. Instead, she held his gaze, terrified and trusting at the same time, and whispered the words that sealed both their fates. "Take me with you." The decision was made in a whisper, a trembling, dangerous whisper that tied their fates together long before either of them understood the price. "Take me with you." Luca didn't waste a second. He grabbed her hand, gently but with urgency, and led her through the back exit of the community center, keeping to the shadows, scanning every rooftop, every parked car, every flicker of movement. Evelyn could barely breathe, not because she didn't trust him, but because she did. Too much. He opened the passenger door of an old beaten-up truck. Nothing like the sleek cars her family used. It smelled like gasoline and rain. It felt like the opposite of her entire life. But when she climbed inside, it felt right. "Head down," Luca murmured. "Don't look at anyone. Don't react to anything." She nodded, trembling. They drove into the night, leaving behind streetlights, paved roads, and finally, the town itself. With every mile, Evelyn felt pieces of her old life peeling away. The privilege, the safety, the illusion that she was untouchable. Now she was very touchable, very vulnerable, and completely reliant on a man she barely knew. But every time she looked at Luca's profile, jaw tense, eyes scanning the dark, she felt a strange, impossible certainty. He'd die before letting anyone hurt her. After nearly an hour of silence, they reached an abandoned cabin hidden between pines and fog. It looked like a place where secrets went to die. "This is temporary," Luca said. "Just until I figure out our next move." Evelyn stepped out of the truck, pulling her jacket tight around her. "Are we safe here?" Luca hesitated, the kind of hesitation that said no, but it's all we have. Inside, he finally spoke. "You shouldn't have come with me," he said softly. "But I did," she replied, "and I'm not going back." He closed his eyes like that admission hurt him. "You don't understand what you've stepped into. The people I work for, they don't stop. If they think I switched sides, they'll kill you," she finished. He didn't deny it. Instead, he stepped closer, voice breaking. "And they'll kill you just to make a point." Her heart clenched, because she knew, without question, that it was true. Evelyn took his hand, a reckless, vulnerable gesture, and Luca froze, every muscle locking in place. "You saved me," she whispered. "Now let me save you." His breath trembled, but then a sound outside, a twig snapping, not random, not nature, a warning. Luca moved instantly, pulling her. Behind him, eyes sharp, hand reaching for the gun she didn't know he carried. "Someone followed us," he whispered, dread sinking into his voice. Evelyn's blood turned to ice. "Luca, what do we do?" He didn't take his eyes off the shadows outside. "We survive," he said. But his voice wasn't confident anymore. It was terrified. Because he knew, and now she did too, their escape hadn't saved them. It had exposed them, and whoever was out there was closing in. Luca held Evelyn behind him as shadows moved outside the cabin. Footsteps, slow, deliberate, a predator's approach. Evelyn's heartbeat hammered against his back, each tremor a reminder that he had done the unforgivable. He'd brought danger right to her. A window shattered. Luca fired once, twice, and controlled, precise. The forest went silent again. For a few long seconds, neither of them moved. Then Luca grabbed her hand. "We need to leave. Now." They ran through the trees, branches cutting their skin, cold air slicing their lungs. Evelyn stumbled, but Luca never let her fall. He guided her through the darkness as if he'd memorized every root and stone. When they finally reached the riverbank, he stopped, turning to her with panic still in his eyes. "This ends tonight." Evelyn shook her head, breathless. "No, we can run. We can't outrun them forever." His voice cracked. "Not until you know the truth." She froze. He'd been hiding something. She had felt it for days, maybe since the moment they met. But hearing him admit it out loud. "Tell me," she whispered. "All of it." Luca stepped back as if afraid of his own confession. "I wasn't supposed to meet you on that cliff," he said. "I wasn't supposed to talk to you. I wasn't supposed to feel anything for you." Her stomach dropped. "Evelyn, I was hired to kidnap you." The world tilted. The river roared. The wind howled. Her chest tightened like she'd been struck. "No," she whispered. "No. Luca." He forced himself to keep going, the truth slicing him open as deeply as it did her. "The night we met, I was supposed to take you. Everything after that, every moment, every word. It was me trying to choose between the job or..." He swallowed hard. "Or you." A tear slipped down her cheek. "And you lied to me." "Yes," he said, voice breaking. "But I didn't take you. I couldn't. I chose you, Evelyn, even when it meant signing my own death sentence." Silence. Heavy, shattering, unavoidable. Evelyn stepped forward, trembling. "Why tell me now?" "Because the people who hired me will come again," he said. "Harder, smarter. And next time they won't want you alive." Her breath hitched. "And you?" He shook his head. "I won't survive unless I take the deal or vanish for good. And I can only vanish if you walk away from me. Walk away." The words cut deeper than the confession. Evelyn looked at him. The man who had lied to her, betrayed her, saved her life, risked his own, and become the one person she couldn't let go. "You want me to leave you?" she whispered. "No," Luca admitted, the truth tearing him apart. "I want you to choose yourself, because loving me will destroy your life." Evelyn stepped closer, eyes fierce through her tears. "Maybe, but losing you will destroy me." His breath trembled. In that moment, something shifted, not in the world around them, but inside the space between their hearts. She took his shaking hands. "Tell me one thing," she murmured. "Do we run, or do we fight?" Luca closed his eyes, and for the first time in his life, he chose hope. "We fight," he said. Evelyn nodded, a single devastating decision. Together, they stepped into the darkness, not as kidnapper and target, not as liar and innocent, but as two broken souls choosing each other, even if the world burned for it.